The FPV Goggles V2 from DJI is more comfortable and has slightly improved signal and picture quality. You can also charge them even if they aren't connected to the controller. We'll go over the specifications, features, and differences between the V2 and the original V1 goggles. V1 and V2 are essentially identical in shape, dimensions, and weight. All existing V1 accessories, such as antennas, goggle straps, analog adapters, and faceplate foam, will continue to function. Both have the same 2-inch LCDs and optics, with the same screen FOV field of vision and 1440 by 1080p resolution. Major differences: the DJI FPV Goggles V2 includes a few new features. The first is that they now include an upgraded built-in antenna which improves signal and image quality and offers a unique transmission option, which we'll highlight further. The Goggles FPV V2 has been engineered to be comfier with a bigger headband and thicker cushioning. The V2s also include a new charging cable that connects directly to the goggles rather than the remote controller. The 2.4 GHz frequency support, for example, is one of the unique characteristics of the V2 that favors the pre-built DJI FPV drone. Signal penetration and range are better at the lower frequency of 2.4 GHz than at 5.8 GHz. A first-person view, FPV, drone allows a pilot to control a drone fitted with cameras and to see live feed from the camera through a headgear such as goggles. These drones are used predominantly by competitive FPV drone racers and filmmakers who seek unique shots that they otherwise cannot capture with a standard drone. However, if you don't intend to purchase the DJI FPV drone and instead wish to construct your own, the V2's upgrades may be irrelevant, and we'll tell you why. While the increase in screen refresh rate from 120 Hz to 144 Hz may not be perceptible to most people, it might be a pleasant boost for others, particularly gamers. The resolution in live view mode, audience mode, has been increased from 720p to 810p at 120 frames per second. The V2 has a 25.2 volts built-in battery initially designed as a 2-battery system that can be expanded to either a 4-battery or 6-battery system. The V2 also has a USB-C interface to charge and power the goggles. Its battery pack may not be large enough for a full day of flying, necessitating multiple recharges on the field. Fortunately, a lithium-ion polymer battery can still power the V2 goggles. If you believe the V2 is enough of an upgrade to purchase one, give this video a thumbs up. If you feel otherwise, click the thumbs down button. Antennas changed. The antennae on the V2 goggles are multi-band since they work on both 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz. As a result, your V1 antennas, which only support 5.8 GHz, will not provide you with the same experience as the V2 antennas because you will be missing out on the 2.4 GHz band. If you wish to upgrade the antennae on your DJI FPV drone, you should acquire the ones built for the DJI FPV V2 goggles. However, if you fly any other drone, V1 antennas should work fine. The DJI FPV V2 goggles disappoints. For the most part, the V2 isn't much of an upgrade over the V1, as DJI appears to have produced it mainly for their DJI FPV drone. Some reviewers, for example, expected HDMI output with the V2. Regardless, the USB-C port might be used to receive live video output on a mobile device. Furthermore, you can utilize the AV input, much like the V1, although there is no built-in analog module. While the V2 is technically an upgrade over the V1, it is probably superfluous to buy one unless you wish to use it with a DJI FPV drone. Two top reviewers on Amazon claimed that the foam padding and straps did not fit and that they needed to be replaced. Because DJI is sure to retire the V1 at some time, it may also be a reasonable decision to acquire the V2 now. More functions for the V2 will likely be included in future firmware upgrades, which is something to keep an eye on. Compatibility with other remotes. The V2 goggles work with custom-built FPV drones like the Air Unit, CAX Vista, and the V1 remote. The V2 goggles have two modes, one for controlling the DJI FPV drone, and another for controlling a drone that uses an Air Unit, Vista, or V1 remote. You may alternate between modes in the OSD menu. Remember to restart the goggles whenever you change mode. If you feel enlightened by our review of the Goggles V2, consider subscribing to this channel for more rich content. Thank you.